Ayo, it's Retro. Welcome to another video. Alright, so Sentinels #1 just dropped this week, and Alex Paknadel and Justin Mason may have probably one of the best X-Men comics that have come out since Victor Laval's Sabretooth and Sabretooth and the Exiles. This was an insane book. I think it's also one of the biggest swings an X-Men book has taken since Sabretooth and Sabretooth in the Exiles. One of the biggest selling points of Victor Laval and Leonard Kirk's Sabretooth is that it heavily criticized the prison system. And Alex Paknadel and Justin Mason are doing something very similar here, breaking down American institutions and doing it in a Sentinels book. That's very ambitious, because like, I'm gonna be real. When this was first announced, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna read a Sentinels comic. I don't really care to read about genocidal robots and their program. But what Alex Paknadel and Justin Mason are doing right now, this is insane. Sentinels #1 is essentially the comic that reinvents the Sentinels for the From the Ashes era of X-Men. They take people who are, down on their luck or who very much need a second chance, and they're tasked to capture and defeat dangerous mutants. This issue starts off with the first group tracking down and fighting Omega Red. If you know Omega Red, he's one of the most murderous mutants that have ever been created. And this book does an interesting thing by using Omega Red to kind of remind us that the Sentinel program did destroy Genosha. And it's weird that I am sympathizing more with Omega Red than 4 veterans who are very much down on their luck and don't have a good situation right now. And it's only because of the Sentinels program that they do. But that's the point of this book. This book is like, the way this book criticizes American institutions is very excellent. Right off the bat, we're introduced to 4 Sentinels: Lockstep, Sawtooth, Voivod, and Shellback. And Lockstep is supposed to be the commander of this group. He's very much leading it. He's the battlefield leader. As they're tracking Omega Red, we see very early on the personalities of these groups. Lockstep is very much your typical Boy Scout leader. He wants to get the mission done as quickly as possible and by whatever means. Voivod is your loose cannon. It's been said that he blows himself up on almost every mission, and he does so in this one as well. Sawtooth we don't get too much of her personality early on, but we do get a little bit later. And she's a riflewoman. And Shellback is the shy, and very much you can tell this is the character that was taken advantage of. This was the one that the Sentinel program was preying on to join. He was not supposed to be a Sentinel. He's not this kind of warrior. But for an opportunity at a second chance, I'm sure that's why he took it. It does come at a downside. He does end up dying in this issue simply because he was not supposed to be on this mission. Even Voivod said that he was supposed to be benched. And unfortunately, Shellback does get infected by techno-organic disease, and Lockstep has to kill him because that's what he asked for. If he ever were to get infected, he just wants one shell through the head. And it's unfortunate because he's very young. All of these characters, from what I can assume, are either young or they served in the military and just wanted another chance at, being important or having a purpose. This book is insane. I'm gonna be real. When I first read it, I was very mixed because I understood the message. It was very much critiquing American institutions, and I love that. I'm gonna be real. But I didn't really connect with any of the characters. And after a couple reads, I realized that, maybe I'm not supposed to exactly connect with these characters. Because at the end of the day, they are joining a program that was responsible for a genocide of mutants. You're not supposed to sympathize with these characters. They're just telling you what it is. Some of these people are taken advantage of. They do join a program that, while they may know what they did, they are just fighting for another chance. They just want to be important again. They want something that's secure. And unfortunately, this program took advantage of that need and said, yeah, we're going to make it seem like you are hunting down these murderous mutants, but at the end of the day, the Sentinels do attack innocent mutants. And Lawrence Trask, who is now in charge of the Sentinel program, the son of the original Trask, is in contact with Dr. Ellis, who is heavily, and I mean heavily, insisting that she just reinstates the original Sentinel program so that they can murder millions of mutants. So this is not the bad guy book where we are supposed to sympathize with the bad guy. This is just a very bleak and smart book that looks at the institutions in America and examines it and very heavily criticizes what they're doing. So yeah, Sentinels #1 was a very interesting book. I think it's the biggest swing that any X-Men book has taken in From the Ashes, and I've enjoyed a lot of the books from this era. But as far as the pitch goes, as far as the premise goes, this is RoboCop but X-Men. This is the next step of what Victor LaValle and Leonard Kirk were doing in Sabretooth. This is a superhero comic that is very much not just about superheroes. It's not about a superhero at all. It's about what these institutions are doing to people in this world. And I wonder where this is going to lead, because it is a miniseries. It's only, I believe it's only 4 issues or 5 issues. So that means it's going to be a very concise, very tight story. But I really wonder where this is going to end. I hope this doesn't end up just being like a bleak story about what these institutions do to people who are down on their luck and need a second chance. I hope there is some resolution at the end, but face value, this issue was very excellent, and I highly recommend anyone out there who was looking at this book and was like, I'm not reading a Sentinels book, give it a chance. Trust me, this is not what you think it is. This is definitely not the book that is sympathizing with a program that commits atrocities and commits genocide. This is a book that is critiquing what this program is doing to the people that they prey on and have sign on. There's a subplot in this comic that delves into what these nanotech augments do to the Sentinels, and it requires mood regulators. And we get a little bit where Lockstep asks Trask if he told Patricia Pham about these mood regulators, and he has no comment. Instead, he gives this whole tirade about what happened in England, and it's an analogy about making sure two sides are in check, and by having a third party, that the Sentinels are a necessary evil so that humans and mutants don't go to war. It's obvious that this, philosophy is very flawed and it's very evil. He's only saying that because that's what he believes. He believes that humans and mutants can't coexist. And you realize at the end that this book is unabashedly challenging all of these characters in this book. They're not sympathizing whatsoever. They're not empathizing. So yeah, it's a fantastic book. I think if you're on the fence, give it a chance. It's the first issue. I think you'll be very, very surprised by what this book is doing. Justin Mason's art is amazing. His art is so kinetic. It's so action-packed. It feels like a classic action movie. And that's all I could ask for this kind of book. And Alex Paknadel is not holding any punches when it comes to what this Sentinels program really is and what its intentions are. It's very clear that this is the bad guy book, but it's also very clear that we're seeing why it's a bad guy book. We're seeing why the Sentinels program exists, and we're seeing why the people who are being taken advantage of also may not be the best people as well. This isn't the book where we're supposed to sympathize with Sentinels. So yeah, if y'all made it this far, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment what you want me to talk about next, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.